Hello, welcome back to another video. Hope everyone is well. Obviously we've got to be staying indoors at the moment, so aren't able to be getting to gyms currently. I thought I would try and build upon the video last week, which was a bodyweight circuit type thing, to try and get you a video where you can be able to train for strength instead of just like a muscular endurance thing, which is more of what it was last week. The strength is quite difficult to be training without any gym equipment. Obviously we can't be going into gyms and most things are sold out currently now, or just massively overpriced. So today's video I'm going to be using just a towel for strength sort of benefits instead of, just like the circuits that you've seen a lot online at the moment, which are just muscular endurance or even cardio sort of effect of them. So I'm not sure if you'd have heard of the term isometric exercise. It's basically where the body is kept still through static contraction. So you're actually not moving the body. Something like a plank, which I'm sure many of you have done before. We're using the core to avoid any movement from side to side, or wall sits as well if you've ever done them. But these exercises maintain strength as well as building it, although not as effectively. But at least they're going to be helping us keep whatever gains that we made in the gym from before without actually being able to go to the gym, or hopefully as much as possible anyway. And the video today is basically on an idea on that, of modifying it slightly so that it's actually what is actually called as overcoming isometrics, where you have an object that can't actually be broken, but you're trying to break it in a way. So like the towel, it'll become a bit clearer, but you're basically trying to produce as much force as you can to break the towel, even though it can't be broken, or maybe it can if you're strong enough. So now getting into the actual exercises, obviously we're going to be needing a towel. I've gone for the biggest one that I have just to help with any exercise, because you can't have one that's too big really. But what you want to be doing is holding it from opposite corners just to make it as long as you possibly can. And the first exercise that you can see here will be a deadlift. So you get into the usual deadlift position and you pull up as hard as you can from the lowest point. I maybe could be a bit lower here, but you act as if you're pulling the bar up. So what you're doing is you're holding for 5 seconds. So you're pulling up like that, holding for 5 seconds just stationary, but as much force as you can to put through it. And then you rest for 5 seconds after. So you're going to be working for 5 seconds, 5 seconds off, working for 5 seconds, 5 seconds off, working for 5 seconds. And each of those is going to be working a different range. So looking at it from a side view, I'm starting at the lowest point, going to be pulling up here for 5 seconds as hard as I can, really maximising the contraction. And then I stop for 5 seconds, slightly change the angle, so pull it up, 5 seconds again, working as hard as I can. And then, 5 seconds now resting, and I change it again for the top point, pulling again for 5 seconds. So those 3 separate contractions working at different points will then be one set, and I'll repeat that 3 or 4 times possibly. I think the dog's come in for a little cameo here. But what we're doing, the reason we're changing the point of contraction is because overcoming isometrics it's effective for 10 to 15 degrees. So you're working it at different points to maximise the benefits along that range of motion. But a lot of these ideas have been taken and adapted from an Instagram post I saw from Graham Morris. So the link to his Instagram and that post will be in the bio down below if you wanted the actual accurate information. But this next one, split squat variation. This one's a bit harder because you're wobbling around a little bit more, being on one leg. But it's the exact same format as the deadlift, so we'll be working 3 different points again. Just changing leg now, showing you. I could be going from a bit lower at this point, but I don't really want to be bending my knee too much, just because of the injury that I've had. But yeah, so this is the bottom one I'm going for here. Pulling up as much as I can. So it's the same rest. Adjusting it so you're going a bit higher. Pulling up again for the same working time, 5 seconds. I probably as well could be keeping my chest up a little bit more here, but it's quite hard when you're trying to pull the towel, almost go over there. But again, I'll repeat that 3 or 4 times each leg, like with most exercises here. Almost managed to rip the towel there, I was just checking in case, but it wasn't actually anything big. But with this one, I'm trying to, so obviously we've done the deadlift one and split squat, because I normally do quarter squats myself in the gym, just with the lack of range that I want to be doing in my knee. They're quite good for power transport back over to when you're playing football or sport. So I put the towel over one shoulder and was with one leg acting like it was a quarter squat. I don't really know if this is right, but the main thing with all of these exercises is you can take your own parts from them and just change it into however you want to be able to, like whatever feels good for your body, or coming up with different ideas yourself. So I tried to get some sort of quarter squat over the shoulder, but because the towel isn't long enough to go over both and under both feet, I've got to do one leg at a time. You'll be able to see better in the next angle from side on. I've actually got one foot behind me in a split stance, which is for stability, so you're not wobbling each side, but putting most of the weight through that front leg, so that's where you're pushing up from, where you're going the power from, that front leg there, for that. But I'm not actually changing the angle like for the other exercises, because a quarter squat's over a smaller angle anyway. Then onto calves. One leg at a time again, this one really focusing on the contraction and pulling up as hard as you can. Trust me, this one I felt the next day. I was in bits. With this, I'm only showing what I did in the right leg and then the other view here, but obviously repeating it both sides. Just keeping the grip the same for each one, but still repeating it 3 times to make up one set, and then doing that 3 times on each leg. So 3 sets on each leg. Here I'm placing the towel, I've got it under my feet there, but I'm placing it where the barbell would usually be for barbell hip thrusts, and pushing up like that for 5 seconds, as I have been doing this whole time. Really trying to explode and push up and hold it out there. At this point it's all quite repetitive probably for you, but I'm just showing you the different exercises now that you can be trying. And then going into upper body now. Looks a bit of an awkward one, to be honest, and I find it a bit of a struggle getting down onto the floor. But here I'm going to be trying to work. It's almost like what you'd be doing for a chest press, and it can be quite hard to find the different points to be working, just because it's a fiddly one with the towel from going from behind you. So for each 3 in the one set, I kept the same position. And then if you want to, for your different sets, you could probably do different positions. I think that might be easier, just because instead of changing during the set, you're probably going to be wasting more time, so you won't be able to stick to that 5-second rest, and it's just a bit easier doing it that way. Then this one was a fly type pressing motion. I'm just trying to really feel it in my chest, and you've got the resistance again from the towel from around the back. It looks like a sort of fly, but as well at the same time I was pushing out, and you just really have to focus on that contraction across the chest. Lateral shoulder raises now. This is one where it's quite easy to do 3 different points in one set again. So once I've done this initial first one, hold a bit further up the towel, do the next one a bit higher up. And then the same thing for the last point. This is repeated on the other arm as well, but I've only shown you what I've done with the right. Now we've got a bent over row, keeping the back as straight as possible, engaging the lats, and really trying to pull. And then just to be a bit clearer, so it's with both arms. You can see from this front view for the last rep, just really pulling with both arms at the same time. That one can be done at different points as well. Coming towards the end now, there's 2 different types of seated row that I did. This initial one, you've got just a stationary one where you can adjust it to 3 different points. Again, it's easy to do from this position. But also, I did a variation where I took my shoes off, and you can do it on slippery floor, but you're using your legs to be pushing away and creating tension as you're trying to pull in from your back. So you can make it as difficult or as easy as you want. I found this quite hard. But you're not holding the contraction, so it's not actually isometric really. But instead, I'm sort of treating it as if I was doing rows on a machine at the gym or with dumbbells. So I'd say just complete as many reps as you want or can do, with as many sets of that as you'd normally do at the gym. But that is all for today. This is the last exercise. I hope you've enjoyed it. Hopefully you can try some out and let me know if you come up with any new ideas. If you've liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and share with anyone you think might enjoy it as well. And I'll see you next time.